Hello guys, welcome back to another podcast, and today we are going to be talking about the Zen 2 Ryzen leaks by Dord TV, the Navi series of AMD RX GPUs, both of which are going to be releasing early 2019. And so on the topic of Zen 2, which is going to be the 3rd gen Ryzen but not called Zen 3, because 1st gen Ryzen and 2nd gen Ryzen were both just based on the Zen architecture, not Zen 2 architecture for Zen Ryzen 2nd gen. And the lowest end Zen 2 CPU will be called the Ryzen 3 3300 with 6 cores, 12 threads, with a normal clock at 3.2 gigahertz and a boost clock of 4 gigahertz, and it will cost around $100 ish, give or take. The next CPU above that is the Ryzen 3 3300X, with again still 6 cores, 12 threads, with a clock of 3.5 gigahertz and a boost clock of 4.3 at $130. The next CPU up from that, my bad, is the Ryzen 3 3300G at 6 cores, 12 threads, 3 gigahertz base clock, and 3.8 on the boost. And that will cost, again, $130. The only reason it costs the same for less clock rate is because the CPU has integrated graphics, so they had to lower the clock rate to add the integrated graphics to make it the same price as the lower end 3300X, which again, overclocking can get a higher boost clock, higher normal clock rate, but Then after that, the Ryzen 5 series, Ryzen 5 36,000 at 8 cores, 16 threads, clock of 3.6 gigahertz, boost clock of 4.4 and that will cost about $180. Then the Ryzen 5 3600X is going to be 8 cores, 16 threads, 4.4 gigahertz, and a boost clock of 4.8 gigahertz at $230. And the next integrated GPU, for this line anyway, is the Ryzen 5 3600G at 8 cores, 16 threads, 3.2 base clock of 3.2 gigahertz, and a boost clock of 4 gigahertz at $200. So then that will have, I believe, a weaker Navi GPU, which is AMD's next line for the Ryzen Zen 2 CPUs. And after that, for a next upgrade, you got the Ryzen 7 3700 at 12 cores, 24 threads, and a base clock of 3.8 gigahertz and a boost of 4.6 gigahertz at $300. And then the Ryzen 7 3700X is going to have 12 cores, 24 threads, 4.2 gigahertz for the base clock, and then 5 gigahertz for the boost. This is all stock, so 5 gigahertz stock. I think that's like Intel i7 8700, probably. Don't know off the top of my head what that would be. But 5 gigahertz base, that's pretty good. Well, I mean boost clock at that, but still, that's still a good boost. Especially for base, without any overclocking. Where was I? Oh, then the Ryzen, and we're going to another, then to upgrade after that, it would be the Ryzen 9 3800X, which has an amazing 16 cores, 32 threads. That's right. At 16 cores, 32 threads, 3.29 gigahertz for the base, 4.7 gigahertz for the boost, no overclocking, at $450 estimated, of course. So you're sacrificing the lower boost and lower base clock for more cores. So from the Ryzen 7 3700X, you are gaining 4 cores and 8 threads, but losing 0.3 gigahertz on the base clock and 0.3 gigahertz on the boost. But you can upgrade that to the Ryzen 9 3850X, 16 core, 32 thread, base clock of 4.3 gigahertz, and boost clock of 5.1 gigahertz at $500. Which the Ryzen 9 3850X is a Threadripper, so more performance and not necessarily gaming, because games are more single core workloads, and then the Threadripper series is more for productivity, video editing, video recording, all that, Photoshop, stuff like that. And then for Navi, AMD's next GPU line is the lowest end is the AMD RX 3060, and is estimated to be $130, equal to about AMD RX 580 or 590. So basically the two high-end RX cards other than Vega. And then for $130, that's a pretty good deal for beating a 580 or 590. Pretty good deal. Then the GTX 1060, which I'm gonna assume is probably the 6GB version. Not so sure though. We'll have to see when the cards actually release, or the RTX 250 is what that's rumored to be, because it beats the GTX 1060. Then for the upgrade to RTX, the RTX 2070 is about GTX 1080. So then yeah, the 2050 would be about what it would be. And then the AMD RX 370 is estimated to be $200. So still cheap. But then again, it's AMD. They're meant to be cheap. Cheap, but still good. Which is going to be estimated to be $200. Roughly the equivalent of the Vega 56. Or GTX 1070 or RTX 2080. No, 2060. Don't know why I put 2080. If it can beat the 2080 for $200, yeah. I'd love to see that. Of course, these aren't TIs or any of that good stuff, but... And then the RX 380, the highest end new Navi GPU so far, is going to be $250, which only a $50 increase. Doubt that's gonna happen, but for $50 you're getting a Vega 64 or a GTX 1080 or the RTX 2070. The 1080 was basically the top of the line card for gaming, before the RTX series came out, and still kind of is if you don't want ray tracing. Like the GTX 1080, when it came out, it was, I think, the most powerful card. Then RTX came out, and so did Vega. All that happened. So yeah. And then just for a random time fill, I think, because I probably need to do that. So yeah. So for random time fill, then let's just talk over RTX, I guess. Because Intel hasn't released much new. No, they haven't. So RTX is NVIDIA's, I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong, but NVIDIA's new GPU lineup for basically just for gamers. It has ray tracing, which still is new. Like, I think there is one game so far that supports it, and that is Battlefield 5, I think. I could be getting that wrong, but yeah, it is like the top of the line gaming card for consumers, that is. I was about to say you still have Quadros, all that stuff. But sorry. I didn't plan on looking up RTX stuff right now for this. Which, basically, supposedly, soon, they're supposed to release a RTX 2060 and the RTX Titan. The RTX Titan is going to be more for, like, it's going to be more for, like, the server type stuff. The RTX 2080 Ti cost $1,200. 11 gigabytes of ultra-fast GDR6, which I think is what the 1080 Ti had, 11 gigabytes. It has real-time ray tracing, finally. Not that most, again, I think one game takes advantage of that, Battlefield 5. And they added a new core called the Turing core. So yeah, there's new cores they're adding. And the specs of the RTX 2080 Ti Founders Edition, so basically what NVIDIA makes for the RTX. It features 78 Turing cores, so compared to a lot of other things, not that much. But for ray tracing, I think like Shadow the Tomb Raider with 2 RTX 2080 Ti's in SLI, which is basically taking a piece of tech called a SLI bridge or NVLink bridge, connecting the two cards together with that, and then you get extra performance but not doubling the VRAM, which is, I guess, a good thing, but I mean, if you really want VRAM, I think the Quadro GV100 has like 32 gigabytes of VRAM, so it has a boost clock of 1,635 megahertz with an overclock, of course. Frame buffer is 11 gigabytes GDDR6. The memory speed of 14 gigabytes. The GPU architecture is Turing, the new NVIDIA architecture. Then the GeForce RTX 2080 Ti non-founders. Is getting 76 Turing cores, so just a little less than the founders. And has a 1054 boost clock with no overclock. And has 11 gigabytes of GDDR6 and still a 14 gigabyte memory speed. 14 gigabytes per second, I should say. Don't want to spread misinformation. And then for the GTX 1080 Ti, it is based on the GPU architecture of Pascal. It has a boost clock of 1582 megahertz. So slightly faster than the RTX 2080 Ti non-founders, but slightly slower than the Founders Edition with an overclock. And it has 11 gigabytes of GDDR5X. So like one generation old of VRAM. And has 11 gigabytes per second memory speed. Waiting for me to die. Not in real life. In the game. So yeah. It uses NVLink for RTX. Of course. Because SLI is kind of dead. And then you have all the like WindForce by Gigabyte, MSI, Trio, Fan. With all of that. And then like I said, the 2080 is the 2080 is better than any of the GTX 10 series cards. And then the 2070 is the GTX 1080 with ray tracing, basically. So that is about as much as I can figure out right now on RTX, Navi GPUs, Zen 2 CPUs, all that good stuff. That is about all I could find on any of this stuff, but of course I will let you guys know more on the stuff when it releases later on, early next year, I mean. So yeah, besides that, have a good day, and I'll just play a video game now. I'll just play this one match, then I'll be gone. So this is... Oh, this is just capture the flag. Okay. Also, let me know what... If you guys have a PC, what CPU would you upgrade in it? Out of Zen 2, the 3300, 3300X, the 3600, 3600X. Just wait. Let me open my. Let me open the script for this. Google Drive. Gonna die, guaranteed. How have I not died? They just that bad. I so should have not missed those shots. Ugh. But yeah, so what GPU would you buy? The AMD RX 3600, 3700, or 3800? Knowing what they basically match, what they beat. Sorry, just opening my script for this video. Because I typed it up and I'm trying to remember what the Zen 2, all of the Zen 2 stuff. There's a lot of them. Okay. I was opening. And I lost my audio. I died. So what GPU would you... Oh, no. I'm basically stuck, so... Okay, so what GPU would you upgrade to? The AMD RX 360? 3660. The AMD RX 3370. Yeah, no, the 3070. Or the AMD RX 3080. Which will basically be the top of the line AMD card. And then what would you upgrade for the CPU? The Ryzen 3 3300, the Ryzen 3 3300X, Ryzen 3 3300G, Ryzen 5 3600, Ryzen 5 3600X, Ryzen 5 3600G, Ryzen 7 3700, Ryzen 7 3700X, Ryzen 9 3800X, or the Ryzen 9 3850X. And also, I'm going to do a quick explanation of the Ryzen 3, Ryzen 5, Ryzen 7, Ryzen 9. So the Ryzen 3 is all 6-core, 12-thread. And the Ryzen 5 is all 8-core, 16-thread. Ryzen 7 is all 12-core, 24-thread, and Ryzen 9 is 16-core, 32 threads. So that is just... Yeah, that's just how they go. And then the Ryzen 9 3850X is a Threadripper. Which, the easiest way to tell, at least for now, is basically for the AMD Ryzen Threadripper 1990WX, I think it is, and the AMD Ryzen 2990WX. They both have 32 cores, 64 threads. Yeah, 32 cores, 64 threads. So a monster of a productivity CPU, if I do say so myself. 32 cores, 64 threads. That's a pretty good CPU. Also, both the Navi and Zen 2 are going to 7 nanometer. So basically a smaller die, which I believe lowers temperatures by quite a bit, the smaller the die. And yeah, that's basically the brief rundown of new AMD stuff. NVIDIA already released the RTX series. I just blew myself up. Aren't I smart? So yeah, enjoy the Mean Greens. Enjoy some Mean Greens content. I swear no one plays with sound on. Even though you can't hear sound, I do a sound. I just have it. God dang it, I need to go around again. This is fun. Did someone just headshot me? Okay, that I can believe someone shot me there. So I seen where he shot me from. Okay, whatever, I'll rush. But so yeah, then Intel hasn't released anything yet. Probably won't for a while. Because yeah, AIM, besides for like probably server side CPUs and stuff like that, I don't think Intel's gonna make new CPUs. Run, 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 run for... I tried so hard, but I failed so badly. I'm so happy they didn't pick a certain map that runs so badly. Did he just fall? Oh, wow. That was a dirty shot. So dirty. That deserves a teabag. Just look. So the goal of this map, actually, is you basically just float around on ducks, grabbing the enemy's flag, while trying to make it back to your base, your boat. That's the opposite side, obviously. He just fell. Thank you. And the flag spawn on the boats. Then there should be, yep, that boat and this boat. And there's 3 different places for you to put your flag. One right there, one's right there, and one's right in the middle of your boat, like right there. And you need to get 3 flags to win. So first to 3 wins. Like right on top it says first to 3 wins. Or whoever has the most flags when the time runs out. So the enemy spawns up there, and you spawn up on the other side, right over there. God dang it. Someone's sniping me. Someone got me. Tried. I tried. So you have 3 weapons: an AR, sniper, shotgun, RPG, which you can only shoot every now and then, and a flamethrower that never runs out of ammo. Makes sense. It's reality. Said no one ever. I failed badly. But so this is a PC-only game. But kind of makes sense because it would be hard to play on console. Because it's a third-person shooter. But it's only like, I think like $9. And goes on sale for like $3. And it is quite easy to run, to be fair. 3 kills, 6 deaths, 1 to 2 KD. Not bad. But I think that is going to be it, actually. Wow. So that is going to be it for this video, then. Bye!